This is Siofra's Magic Alcove, and I'm Siofra Bradigan. So, we're going to share with you today the healing chant that our group has been doing for a little over 10 years. We've gone back and forth between sharing it and then not sharing it and then sharing it again. Have decided when we were a larger group that it made more sense to sort of keep it to ourselves, but now that there's fewer of us that are meeting in person, we thought it'd be a good idea to share it with a wider audience. And one thing the world needs more of course, is some healing energy. And this can work really well for groups and for individuals to do healing for yourself and to send healing to other people. So, first off, I'll talk a little bit about the healing chant itself. It's not that long. I actually found a version of this online when we started using it a little over 10 years ago, like I said. And there were a few words in there that just didn't seem to resonate, or an order to things that seemed like we kept trying to change when we were doing it. And then we settled on a specific way of saying the chant. So first, the chant itself is: deep in my bones, the goddess is alive. Deep in my cells and blood, the life force is strong. Deep in my heart and spirit, I believe I will heal. I feel the goddess at my core, filling me with strength and health. Abundant life forces of the universe flow in me and banish all disease. My blood, my bones, my cells, and my body are healing now, are healing now. The goddess force is in me and healing me now. So one of the things I like about this chant is, although it's an incredibly simple chant, it also gains deeper and deeper significance the more you do it and the more you actually visualize the energy of what the words are trying to say. So you can actually use the different phrases as meditation, like the first phrase, deep in my bones, the goddess is alive. You can use that as a meditation all on its own to really get the feel for that, and the more you can see that happening in your body, the more powerful it becomes. So you can do this as an individual, you can do this as a group. We usually do it when we're doing it in a group setting. We do the sacred tree meditation first, and that gets us all on the same page and in the same energetic environment, so that we're working together as a group. And then we do the healing chant after we have completed the sacred tree meditation. And for those of you who are already doing the sacred tree meditation, we're going to do another video at some point where we do the two together. Well, we'll do the sacred tree meditation first and then add the healing chant on afterwards, so that you don't have to go back and forth between the two. I really recommend that you memorize this particular chant, because when you memorize something, it gives you more capability to visualize the words as you're saying them, because you're not divided. Your brain's not divided between looking at a piece of paper and seeing the words and then trying to visualize what the words mean when you say the words. In the beginning, don't worry about it too much, but you'll want to memorize it. And if you have difficulty memorizing anything, you can try it just a couple of phrases at a time until you get those down and are comfortable with them, and then do the next couple of phrases until you can say those completely, and then add the phrases together until it makes a whole, a home, not a hole, a home in your mind. I don't know what I'm saying there. Anyway, until you've got it memorized, and then you can add more to it. And I've used this technique for memorizing long invocations and prayers to different gods and goddesses that I'm working with. And when I was younger, I could probably just whip it out and figure it out and memorize it on the spot. But my brain is a little older now, so memorizing things takes a little bit more effort and focus. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that has that issue. So that's how I handle it. That's what I deal with. So when I found the healing chant, we decided how we wanted to do it and what order we were doing it in. I came up with repeating it 9 times. And that's sort of become our standard for any of the chants that we actually do as a group. 9 is a sacred number to the Celts. I think I was starting to work with some of the Celtic deities at the time when I came up with that. And 9 is a very magic number. There's certain things that happen with the number 9 that don't happen with any other number. If you're a mathematician or math-oriented, you'll know what those things are. And 9 is also the one number before 10, which is completion. And so you're building up energy each time you repeat it up to that point. And with all chants, no matter what the cultural basis is, like in chants in India, they repeat chants maybe 100,000 times in order to build energy and put power into them so that they have the efficacy that they want. In Western mysticism and ceremonial magic, repeating a chant 472 times to bring it down to this particular plane so that it's effective. So there's a lot of background worldwide to the idea of repetition, building up the energy and power in something. So in the beginning especially, since I was the one who was leading the chant, and I wanted to be able to close my eyes and focus as much as possible, I took some stones. So I have here 8 rose quartz and 1 blue lace agate stone for the repetitions. So each time I would repeat a round, when we were doing it in a group, I would drop 1 stone in when I was done into the jar. And then when we got to the last stone, I would raise my voice a little bit so that everyone knew it was our last repetition. And if you're going to be doing this chant as a group, you want to try and create a rhythm with the other people in your group as close to exactly the same as possible. The closer everyone is to doing it the same rate of speed, the same intonation, and so forth, the more powerful the chant becomes, because it melds the energies of the group together into a single voice. And then with that single voice, you're sending out this healing energy. So after we would finish doing the chant and sort of absorb some of the energy into ourselves, and enjoyed the healing energy we'd raised, that would be the point where we would put other people into our circle and send them healing energy. And as a group, it was decided that it was important to us to make sure that anyone who was being put into the healing circle was aware of the fact that we were putting them in and had agreed to us sending them energy. For me, that's an important factor. So anyone who's going to be using this chant, I appreciate if you follow those same rules or values or attitudes or whatever you want to call them. And just make sure that anyone you're sending energy to has said, yes, I would really like it if you would send me some healing energy. Most people are comfortable with it, but some people have got, like, no, I don't want you doing that because you're going to make me be something I'm not, or who knows what. Everyone's got their thing. So one thing that we discovered in the beginning when we started putting people in the circle was everyone was very excited to get their person in the circle, and they would come one after another with not much pause in between. And me, personally, it takes me a minute to shift gears from one image to another, and I want to be able to put out as much energy into each person as I can. And so I said, we need to slow this down and give each person at least a minute. I mean, they deserve at least 1 minute of our undivided attention, usually more, but at least a minute. And that helped to calm the group energy down a little bit, so we wouldn't be putting them on top of each other and having to shift focus and shift our awareness. Because for me, sending healing energy to someone is not just a matter of their name, but if I know them personally, the image of them, or if it's someone in the group who knows them personally, I can send the energy through their image of them. And I find it just a lot more powerful and potentially better. We also modified the chant for sending it to individuals in a different way, not just if we weren't going to be getting together to do a healing circle specifically, then we could do a modified version of the healing chant. So modifying the chant, we would go Deep in your bones, the goddess is alive. Deep in your cells and blood, the life force is strong. Deep in your heart and spirit, I believe you will heal. I feel the goddess at your core, filling you with strength and health. Abundant life forces of the universe flow in you and banish all disease. My blood, my bones, my cells in my body, your body, are healing now, are healing now. The goddess forces in you and healing you now. See, I just got distracted and went back to the original there, so you have to watch out for that. But that way, if you have a member of your family or something like that, and you're not with the group of people to do a whole circle and get that, after you've been doing the healing chant for a while, it gains enough energy that you can actually send that to someone on your own, and it can work really well. We had one of our members whose father was in the hospital who actually felt it happen when it arrived, as it were. That was one of those funny things where she sent it to the hospital and he wasn't there yet. So it waited for him to arrive and then smacked him in the head, to the point where he noticed, and wasn't a magical person at all. So sometimes too, as a group, we would put an individual in person into the center of the healing circle and do that chant to them. And when we did that, the person in the middle is not supposed to be doing the chant themselves. They're supposed to be sitting there and allowing the energy and the words to flow over them. And a lot of people had a problem with that. We often have difficulty accepting healing energy and attention from other people, and the urge to join in and talk is a way to distract the mind and the body from the fact that you're in the middle. And so it's an exercise that's a good one to do, because learning how to take a compliment without trying to turn it into something that doesn't matter or to make the other person feel comfortable is an exercise that all of us need to learn how to do better at. When someone gives you a compliment, the proper response is thank you very much. And that's the end of it. Not, oh, it's nothing, that kind of thing. So you can experiment with that on your own if you're in a circle, in a group, and see what it feels like, and try it out. So we're going to do the 9 repetitions of the healing chant now, so you can feel the rhythm and hear the cadence and focus on that. And hopefully we'll have been able to put the words on under the video so that you can see what they are before, to memorize them, or write them down before you start the chant and get that going. So do a brief grounding exercise to get started. So get comfortable and have your feet flat on the floor and take a nice slow breath. And feel yourself in the center of yourself. Feel your roots going down into the ground and connecting. And feel your mind calming down and centering yourself. And then we'll begin. Deep in my bones, the goddess is alive. Deep in my cells and blood, the life force is strong. Deep in my heart and spirit, I believe I will heal. I feel the goddess at my core, filling me with strength and health. Abundant life forces of the universe flow in me and banish all disease. My blood, my bones, my cells and my body are healing now, are healing now. The goddess force is in me and healing me now. Deep in my bones, the goddess is alive. Deep in my cells and blood, the life force is strong. Deep in my heart and spirit, I believe I will heal. I feel the goddess at my core, filling me with strength and health. Abundant life forces of the universe flow in me and banish all disease. My blood, my bones, my cells, and my body are healing now, are healing now. The goddess force is in me and healing me now. Deep in my bones, the goddess is alive. Deep in my cells and blood, the life force is strong. Deep in my heart and spirit, I believe I will heal. I feel the goddess at my core, filling me with strength and health. Abundant life forces of the universe flow in me and banish all disease. My blood, my bones, my cells, and my body are healing now, are healing now. The goddess force is in me and healing me now. Deep in my bones, the goddess is alive. Deep in my cells and blood, the life force is strong. Deep in my heart and spirit, I believe I will heal. I feel the goddess at my core, filling me with strength and health. Abundant life forces of the universe flow in me and banish all disease. My blood, my bones, my cells, and my body are healing now, are healing now. The goddess force is in me and healing me now. Deep in my bones, the goddess is alive. Deep in my cells and blood, the life force is strong. Deep in my heart and spirit, I believe I will heal. I feel the goddess at my core, filling me with strength and health. Abundant life forces of the universe flow in me and banish all disease. My blood, my bones, my cells, and my body are healing now, are healing now. The goddess force is in me and healing me now. Deep in my bones, the goddess is alive. Deep in my cells and blood, the life force is strong. Deep in my heart and spirit, I believe I will heal. I feel the goddess at my core, filling me with strength and health. Abundant life forces of the universe flow in me and banish all disease. My blood, my bones, my cells, and my body are healing now, are healing now. The goddess force is in me and healing me now. Deep in my bones, the goddess is alive. Deep in my cells and blood, the life force is strong. Deep in my heart and spirit, I believe I will heal. I feel the goddess at my core, filling me with strength and health. Abundant life forces of the universe flow in me and banish all disease. My blood, my bones, my cells, and my body are healing now, are healing now. The goddess force is in me and healing me now. Deep in my bones, the goddess is alive. Deep in my cells and blood, the life force is strong. Deep in my heart and spirit, I believe I will heal. I feel the goddess at my core, filling me with strength and health. Abundant life forces of the universe flow in me and banish all disease. My blood, my bones, my cells, and my body are healing now, are healing now. The goddess force is in me and healing me now. Deep in my bones, the goddess is alive. Deep in my cells and blood, the life force is strong. Deep in my heart and spirit, I believe I will heal. I feel the goddess at my core, filling me with strength and health. Abundant life forces of the universe flow in me and banish all disease. My blood, my bones, my cells, and my body are healing now, are healing now. The goddess force is in me and healing me now. So you can bask in the healing energy you just raised for yourself for a minute. And if you have anybody that you've asked permission to send healing energy to, you can do that now. Visualize them standing in front of you or within the circle if there's a group of you. And let that healing energy flow into them to heal whatever they need. And then when you're done, you come back to yourself. The last thing we would do would be to raise our hands up in the air and pull some of that extra healing energy down onto our bodies, into ourselves, and then down into the ground and touch the ground and the floor and send the energy to the earth. And pull your roots up. So that would be our healing chant. I hope you enjoyed it. And this is Siofra Bradigan. Blessed be.